on YouTube. Wonderful. And we're going to get started with our famous simultaneous squeeze. So I hope you guys are ready for that. Also, we are making incredible progress with the Namuri whistle, which is a breathing device that you can blow into and you wear it as a necklace. It's called the Namuri. I'll put it in the chat. Nemuri. That's the name. It's Japanese for the ability to relax. Pretty cool name, I think. All right, so, but first, before we get started officially with the conversation of today, we're going to be going into systems and how you plan your week emotionally and you prepare yourself emotionally for the week ahead. A very, very important process for your vagus nerve. Maybe talk about some journaling, some meditation, that kind of stuff. But we're going to get started with our simultaneous squeeze, something that we like to do at the very beginning of these videos. It's a quick breath in with a sip of air at the very top. You hold it in, and then you're going to engage your core, your psoas muscle. You're going to, okay, and a good example for this is if you have a big balloon and you're trying to exhale all of your lung air into a balloon, but you're at the very end of the balloon. Does that make sense? So imagine if you had a big balloon, but you're not going to exhale any of that air. You're just going to engage the same muscles that you would use to blow out that air while practicing breath retention. Let me just get my camera to focus on me, on my pretty little face again. That didn't work, but whatever. Let's do this. Let's breathe in, sip, hold, squeeze, exhale. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Go in. Sip of air at the top. Hold it. Squeeze. And slowly exhale. Very good. Honestly, I don't think that there's a better feeling in life than that breath. What comes from that one breath, if you do it in the right way, bar none, one of the best feelings ever. So I'm glad we could share that moment together. So let's talk about the subject of today's video. What does it mean to emotionally prepare for the week ahead? Well, I have a process that I like to do in the morning on a Sunday. The reason I'm doing this video on a Sunday is because we have Monday tomorrow. Hopefully you've noticed. And in showing up for the week ahead, we want to potentially identify the emotions that we want to feel ahead of time. Oftentimes, if you can identify the emotional states and just think, where do I want to be emotionally in the coming week? You can better show up for the whole week ahead. And I'm going to pull up on my screen a couple of ideas for you of how to emotionally prepare your vagus nerve for the days coming. Now, you may think, well, that infers my week's not going to be like incredibly challenging, but it doesn't have to infer that your week is going to be like, oh my God, you're going to a funeral. That's not what this means. Oftentimes, emotional preparation means how do you go through your week also with the sense of fulfillment throughout your week. That's an important thing to have as you go through. So first and foremost, if we work our way down from the top down from a hierarchy, from the very top of the picture of emotional vagus nerve preparation down to the bottom, the first thing you want to start with is just to very briefly here, take a moment and think about your life as a whole, and that you have till next week's Sunday video, which we'll do a follow-up here on Sunday, because this is a good time to do that. And also, by the way, it's also incredibly hot today. So I appreciate you guys sitting down and watching this. If it's hot wherever you are, shout out to my people living in hot weather. It is absurdly hot today, even where I am, which it shouldn't be. So that's interesting. I think it's a record hot day in the world. So, excuse me. So first part of the hierarchy, look at your life as a whole, and envision that you have a vision for the whole circle of your life. Create a vision for what you want your life ultimately to look and feel like from an emotional standpoint. Okay? So for instance, an example saying or an example emotional vision, envisioning of your life, your driving force, you would want to first look at a compelling vision for your life. Like if you were going to tell yourself, my life is about X, Y, and Z, and then you're going to add a second part to that, which is the purpose for why that life is important. Meaning you would identify that in my life, I specifically want to, ignite the human soul as a vision. Like I am the kind of person who is able to ignite a fire in the lives of others that they just can't get anywhere else. I'm so good at that is my special gift to the world, is that I'm able to induce something very incredible in the minds and lives of other people. So that's an example phrase for your vision for your whole life. So you want to start with something like that. Another example of a vision, an ultimate creative vision for your life, right? Because again, we're working down the layers of preparing yourself emotionally for the week ahead. If you get knocked off and you become reactive, oftentimes it means you're not connected to your source. You get that? So this is important stuff to do. And especially on a Sunday, it's like one of the best days of the week. Sundays are some of the best days of the week to actually do this kind of work specifically. So that's why I was like, this morning, what could we focus on today in today's live video at 5 p.m.? Maybe emotions, purpose, vision, So I'm reading actually off of this is so funny. I keep on hand at a finger click my vision for my life and my purpose for my life at my fingertips, so I can always access it. And I have it remembered. So one other vision that I have for my life, for my big vision, for example, is that the best ideas from the universe come to me first, because I'm the most capable of spreading those practically in a meaningful, empowering way to the people of the earth. So by saying that, by having that as an affirmation, it means that my brain is able to download unique ideas that are capable of radically transforming the entire planet. So that means that when I'm sitting around and I'm eating big cherries from Costco, which I have like 2 freaking crates of cherries all of a sudden, because my wife was like, let's get cherries and let's get peaches and nectarines. And I'm like, okay, no complaints here. I'm not arguing with that. But as I'm sitting there eating cherries and plucking the seeds out of my mouth and putting them into a bowl and taking the stems out and putting them in a bowl, the thoughts that come into my brain are usually pretty big ideas. And I have to have the resources then, again, and I don't have to know the how, but I'm able to take really pretty incredible ideas and then transmute them into lessons, ideas, topics, products, services, things that I can share with the world that are impactful in some way. I think that's a big reason why a lot of people come to this Facebook group, is because I tailor myself to be a conduit for receiving some pretty major information, breaking news related to, usually to human consciousness, to the project of what does it mean to be conscious. Okay, so that's kind of my how would I say, my vision for my life. Okay, then for my ultimate definite purpose, right? As we look at emotionally preparing ourselves and knowing what is worthwhile to react to versus what's not worthwhile to react to, it becomes very easy to become emotionally non-reactive to the BS of the day when you are clear on your big vision for your life. And I can certainly include anybody here that wants to utilize or copy or steal the vision that I've shared for how I look at my life, right? I am a renowned creator of life-changing experiences that ignite the human soul. Okay? So that's my vision. And I'm a systems mastermind. My brain downloads the most incredible ideas first in the planet because I'm the most capable of realizing those into a practical, implementable state for other human beings. So, for instance, that I was able to discover the effects of ultrasound as it relates to the vagus nerve, that you can have some pretty hardcore, beautiful, substantial, expansive, cognitive enhancing experiences from vagus nerve stimulation with ultrasound, was, as far as I know, I was the first person to make that major discovery. And that is in alignment with, I literally just sat down one day, and this is before I discovered ultrasound vagus nerve stimulation. And yes, guys, just so you know, I am an inventor as well as an engineer, as well as an online influencer, okay, with this Facebook group. And I run a coaching business called Vagus Nerve Stimulation Repair, just so you guys know. But I'm an inventor. That means I'm always on the hunt for new, cool products. So again, in terms of looking at your emotional preparation for the week, get in alignment with what your vision for your life is. And I promise you, the little stuff won't bother you. A lot of people, if you don't focus on something big in your vision for your life, the little stuff will irritate you and it will gnaw at you all day. So, again, if you're watching this, be honest with yourself. Just nod your head like, yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe maybe you've lost touch with the vision, the ultimate creative vision for your life, and you're letting the small stuff get to you emotionally. And that's going to eat away at your vagus nerve so much that you can develop chronic illnesses from that. And I'm absolutely spitting facts here, okay? This is the truth. When you don't have connection with your creative ultimate vision in life, you will set yourself up for so much nasty emotional detritus and baggage. You just don't want that. So we got the vision. Then you want to have your purpose. Why do I want to be a conduit for some of the best ideas in the universe to come to my brain first so that I can translate those into actionable, practical, usable things for other human beings that can ignite their soul? Why is that important for me? The ultimate purpose is, for me, is to live my life fully, to nurture my family, to inspire humanity towards greatness, and educate people on the mind, the body, and the spirit. So the reason why I must be a conduit, my vision for my life is to be a conduit for great ideas, impactful, revolutionary, world-changing ideas, is simply so that I can live a full life, a rich life, an empowered and inspired life. That's, for me, what that provides, so that I can grow my family and that I can inspire other human beings on this same shared planet to move towards their own personal greatness, whatever that is. And I don't expect everybody else on the planet to want the same things that I want or to have the same desires that I have. But, basically, another reason for why that vision for me is important is to usher in a golden age for humanity, where there's no more scarcity, where there's abundance everywhere you look, where people are grateful for everything that they have. My work in ultrasound and the vagus nerve is extremely fun, and I've certainly found a passion in the work of ultrasound. So for me personally, that's my example of a part of the puzzle of how I can go into the day, into the week emotionally resourced for the multiple projects that I manage. This Facebook group, for instance, is one of a few different projects that I manage. So I'm not here like 24/7, but the projects that I manage are, I do a program that helps people with ultrasound vagus nerve stimulation, and we get them like take their health to extraordinary levels. So I love that program. I primarily work with women who are over the age of 40 to resolve some pretty severe chronic health issues. And so I enjoy that work, but that's not my only thing that I do. Some of the other work I do is in developing new and incredible ultrasound technology for the next iteration of the work that I'm doing. So I'm not only doing ultrasound work right now, but I'm doing projects that fulfill the desire and the demand and the need for when, you know, 1 million people wake up and say, I want ultrasound right now. And so I'm doing the work to bring that technology to the masses, at scale, you know, to make millions and millions of these devices, which is pretty cool, pretty rewarding work. So again, that's a whole secondary project. And then I have another project even further off that is, you know, we're talking a 10 to 20 year time cycle. And I'm just telling you this to let you know that like the emotional pressure on me in a week could, if I weren't in alignment with my vision and my purpose, could be pretty intense. Because the other thing is we'll talk about how systems help with this, because I don't have, with each of these projects, I actually don't really have a goal with any of these things. And you might be like, oh no, or maybe you're a pearl clutcher. Oh no, how could Sterling not have any goals? That means he must not be ambitious or anything like that. No, I'm extremely ambitious, but I don't look at my life in a set of goals. I look at myself as a set of systems. And I'll total in a week, I can actually rattle off about probably 50 different systems that I show up for continuously. Some of those systems are meditation, exercise, eating, and sleeping. I just say consistently, bro, you've got to show up for these things. These are a priority, and you do them no matter what. And lo and behold, I'll have you know that my wife tends to enjoy my physical appearance. She enjoys my nice neckline. She enjoys my weight. She enjoys the muscles that I carry, the tan that I have, my smile. So I have at least one person who admires the systems that I have in place for my physical body, right? And again, my health and my body all work in the support of my identified vision, as well as the work that I do with my mind. That means reading, listening to audiobooks, teaching, learning, interacting with smarter people than I am. This helps my mind. And so again, my body, my health, and my mind all serve the bigger vision of what I want to manifest in this world. So this is kind of the hierarchy of things to look at, especially if you're trying to develop like emotional resilience. Just curious, since we've got some people watching, are you guys finding this kind of stuff helpful? This is interesting. If you do, put a 1 in the chat. Just type a 1 or a awesome. Type an awesome in the chat. What's a big takeaway for you so far? Where's an area that you would like to put some more work? Is it on your vision? Is it on your purpose? Is it on your categories? Because categories refer to, okay, so you have a vision for your life. Awesome. Lori, I can always count on you. You're awesome. Love you. So in terms of your vision for your life is supported by multiple categories. I'm going to look at my categories for my life and list off what categories I have. I'm just going to start with my personal categories. Hey, Maroon, good to see you. I can't wait to check in on you with the ultrasound. Has it been going good? You just got it. I know you just got the ultrasound device shipped to you. We had to ship it all across the world, so that's pretty exciting. But yeah, are you thumbs up? Hopefully thumbs up. If it's not good, don't say anything. But no, did you get a dream or anything like that? We'll be checking in fully. If nothing, that's ideal too. We don't always absolutely want to see an effect in the first couple days. But we certainly don't ever see bad effects. So that's good. Cool. But yeah, enjoyable, makes sense. If you've used it, say yes. If you've at least used it, say yes. That would be the key thing. No hitches. Oh, I think the power adapter, that might be one thing. I don't know. Anyway. Okay, so going back to this emotional regulation concept for the vagus nerve. So on my list of things that are valuable for me to look at here, we are looking at, for me, top of the list, health. Personally, health is super key. I focus on health. Oh, cool. Okay, so yeah, so Maran wrote, yes, doing pretty good. Haha, just used it a couple minutes ago. I might fall asleep in your live. I would not be upset with you at all. Just make sure you keep the live going and drift off to sleep. Drift off to dreamland. It does make you very relaxed. I can tell you that. So good. Awesome. So in terms of supporting the emotional bubble of your vagus nerve needs to have a vision presented to it. And you need to say it out loud. So guys, do you have a vision that you have written down somewhere that you can read out loud? Because your vagus nerve is in your ear and your vagus nerve is in your throat. And there's a reason for that. If you are not speaking and manifesting and speaking into reality what you want your vision for your life to be, you are allowing your life to become the victim or the byproduct of other people's vision for your life. You follow? Right? Maybe you'll get recruited in the military and get shot and killed or blown up in a helicopter, right? Or you could have a vision for what you want to have in your life. For instance, quickly, just recapping, my ultimate creative vision for my life, which allows me to be emotionally non-reactive to little stuff, right? The little tiny stuff, which will ultimately eat you away, is that I am a renowned creator of life-changing experiences that ignite the human soul. I'm a systems mastermind, and I am the first to download ideas that are revolutionary and that change the world. And the reason that ultimate definite purpose is because I want to live a full life, to nurture my family, to inspire humanity towards greatness, and educate people on the human mind, body, and spirit. And I will help to usher in a new golden age for humanity. Okay, so that's kind of the whole concept. And also this allows me to work in ultrasound vagus nerve stimulation because it's fun, and I'm very passionate about it because I've had a lot of success with it. That's another key thing. A little aside, I don't find that you should determine what you do based on if you feel passionate about it first. You should do something because you know it's worthwhile, and if you succeed in it, then the passion can come. But don't not do something because you're not necessarily passionate about it. When I started, I wasn't certain that anybody would ever want to stimulate their vagus nerve or anything like that. Now, based on the size of the Facebook group, 24,000 plus people with vagus nerve as a whole growing pretty much exponentially at this point in time, I'd say that my intuition and my download of the vision that my brain receives information like vagus nerve stimulation with ultrasound would be the best of the best of the best option for people, not electrical stimulation. That came to me first, and I was the first person out there by years talking about this. And I literally believe that it was because I sat down back in 2016 and I wrote out my vision for my life to say that I want to be the one who downloads the most incredible ideas that can change the world first before anyone else, because I have the ability to translate that into real things in the world. That's, I'm basically saying, universe, God, whatever, I am worthy of you sending me your best because I will do everything in my power to help humanity with what you give me. And ultrasound vagus nerve stimulation, ultrasound specifically, not electrical, ultrasound is by far the most incredible therapeutic intervention that in all the years that I've studied biomedical technology, it is bar none the coolest way to stimulate your entire body, like hands down. And many in the chat can totally attest. Oh, cool. Oh, the chat went up so fast. I didn't see Charlene. Thank you. Awesome. All of the above. Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing that too, Charlene. Awesome. Good. I'm glad it's helpful. The chat had like scrolled up. I didn't see you here. I knew you were here though. Anyway, so yes. So in terms of supporting that vision, if my health goes, my vision goes. So for me, my top personal category is health. And inside of each of these categories, each category can have its own vision as well. So for me, my vision for just health, which is different from my body, my health is to at least operate at the bare minimum when it comes to the maintenance of my health. My body has to support every process of my life. It's incredibly critical that my health in general and the management of my health and the management of my health care is top. Because if I allow, again, you could be humming along fine, churning along just great until you get really ill because you weren't taking your multivitamin for the last 6 months. Oh, you didn't get your blood levels checked for 3 years. Oh, and you had too much iron, or you had too little D3 in your blood. I mean, these are the kinds of things where health works for you until it all of a sudden doesn't. So you better be sure that if I'm going to convince God and the universe that I'm worthy of receiving the downloads of the ancients, so to speak, the wisdom of the ages, that my health better be in order. And I believe for each of you watching that your health better be in order too. So again, that's a big area where I love to support people because, again, gosh, if we're talking about the golden age of humanity itself, if any of you are in a state of poor health and you can't function on other categories, like for your family or for your romantic partner who they themselves probably goes to work, who they themselves probably influences other people. I mean, one single human being with poor health is a I don't want to say, what do I want to say here? I want to say that one person in the field of humanity that's health has let them down is not in accordance with like the plan of the universe. And that if we can do anything and everything to resolve those small micro abrasions in the big sea of the world, that every effort should be made to do that. And I believe that ultrasound vagus nerve stimulation by far is the most potent way to do that. And again, that was the download that I got back in 2016, 2017, was literally presented to me in person. And I've told that story many times. And it was as if by the grace of God that those ideas were presented to me up close and personal. And it was because I work with ultrasound. I had access to ultrasound and I had access to really smart people who could show me sort of the, here are the initial 2 ideas. It was up to me to put them together and make that discovery back in 2016 and 2017. So I'm very grateful for all of that. But again, that's one component of the bigger picture, the bigger vision for my life. You'll notice I have a huge absence of goals in any of this stuff. I have no goals. I don't have a goal that says I want a big skyscraper in Dubai that has my name written all over it. right? Sterling skyscraper in Dubai, and it's a golden tower. And I want to have it by the year 2032, and it's going to be amazing. And, you know, here's the thing. I believe that at the rate that I'm going, that's actually possible. If I really, 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 really wanted it, then I probably could eventually someday, if I worked in a certain way, could get that to happen. And I'm very confident in that. But I'm not going to set those kinds of limitations on how reality unfolds in front of me, because I'm open to way different things than what I think reality should show me. For instance, I have a project right now that just got greenlit at a university, a major biotechnology, biology, and chemistry university just nearby where I live. That's greenlit my third order project to research ultrasound in some incredible ways, let's just say that, for the treatment of some of the worst health conditions on the planet, like Alzheimer's, dementia, Parkinson's, multiple sclerosis. So I just got a green light to continue to work on that project with funding, with people, with lab space, with the input of people, again, way smarter than I am in terms of these kinds of specialties. You know, I'm not an expert in Alzheimer's, but I'm an expert in vagus nerve stimulation. But I believe that a potential incredible treatment for Alzheimer's would be stimulating the vagus nerve with ultrasound. And I believe we've seen some initial data on that already, which is pretty cool. So yeah, in terms of getting emotionally prepared for the week, I'm just working through this process right now to show you that look, let me ask you this. Knowing all the things that I just kind of gave you an insight into, that I seem very committed to my vision for my life, if some little tiny upset or slight happens to me in person or on the internet, if somebody wants to run their mouth and be kind of a Delta Bravo on the internet to me, you think that will deeply affect me? No, because I have the filter to say that, well, reacting in some way isn't in alignment with my bigger vision for my life. So again, you know, I talk like this because so many people are out there right now looking for their next little device. They're looking for their next little pill, the next thing that's going to make them not feel the pain of a life. But again, if I were just a vagus nerve stimulation technologist, then I might think, well, how can we increase the power of the ultrasound to make someone emotionally non-reactive? And I don't think that would be the right move. I'd say, well, from a therapeutic perspective, what if you just ask the person, what's your vision for your life? And what is your vision for your health? And how are you managing your health and your family and your career? And in being clear on your vision for all of those, you can live a fulfilling life, and you can have projects that are fulfilling. These things don't have to be like incredibly burdensome for you, which I think is the right way to go. That's my personal opinion, and I've seen it work way better than people just looking for the next buzz on the next device. While I think that vagus nerve stimulation is incredible, and I think everybody should be doing it, I don't think that because you're at the top of that mound, you know, vagus nerve stimulation is a hill, but each hill has its own specialty. And certainly there's a limitation to the self-help world, where if I were only saying, well, identify a vision for your life, if that were the only thing I knew, then I would try to make it the highest skyscraper in the land. But I think the help starts to dwindle after about the 20% of that hill. The height of self-help, you get 80% of the help at the 20% mark. But with vagus nerve stimulation, it's the same thing. You get 80% of the help if you're doing it 20% correctly. So could I make an ultrasound that was like cost $10,000 that had all the wackiest settings in there that would make you go, ugh, like that. Yes, that's easy. That's easy. But that's going to last you for what, a day? No, you need to be able to go back to, okay, well, what's my vision for my life too, right? So you can, I think people should be mixing and matching when it comes to the vagus nerve, not just looking for like the vagus nerve is the only thing. The vagus nerve touches all of these things. So we should be robust in the vagus nerve world, but not from one specific only treatment avenue. That's why I also say exercise, but strengthen your neck first. Exercise is important, but oftentimes you can't exercise your whole body all the time. But if you can't do exercise fully, you can strengthen your neck, right? Raise your hand at home. If you're like, I strengthen my neck, it's amazing. I straighten my neck. You can see. Look at that neck. You can see. Proof is in the pudding. I strengthen my neck. I love my neck. I have one of the best necks, okay? That's my my umpism right there. But anyway, that's it. Good. Awesome. Charlene shares. Yes, I've had a big vision change because of VNS and you, hashtag grateful, with a strong sign and a celebration confetti thing. Awesome. I love it. Yeah, I mean, same thing for me, you guys. This was the same effect that it had on me. Ultrasound vagus nerve stimulation allowed my brain to go like this, even more so than ever before. So I, again, just want to share that love and that beautiful stuff. And you just need some language in there too. You need to identify on paper a vision and stimulate your vagus nerve at the same time. You'll never be let down by the combination of the two. I promise you that. So much is in store for you. So much is possible if you do this right. So anyway, that'll wrap it up for YouTube. Thanks guys on YouTube. I'll see you guys soon. Awesome.